Welcome back to Friday Crypto. My name is Chase. Today we're going to look at Chainlink against the US dollar. We're going to look at three possible scenarios. We're also going to go a little bit more deep dive and look at some indicators that might help us be able to tell kind of what we're looking like, bullish or bearish, and how bullish or bearish are we in the current moment. So let's get right to it. So as you may have been able to tell, we have a green, a red, bull and bear, right? And then maybe something in between. Why is it in between? Well, maybe we go up a little bit and then back down a little bit. Okay, so option one, let's start with the best case scenario, right? We just go up and we break through this previous top, right? Which is, just shy of $10. And we just continue up and maybe we revisit kind of this area of, hesitation back in here. And then, we kind of come back. And the key point would be a breakthrough of, all these local areas, and then, come back and test and hold that as support without coming back down. So if we can do that, then I could see us, macro trending up for the next several weeks to months. Whether that's likely or not is we're not even going to discuss that, right? So we're looking at just three possible scenarios that, we could potentially see happening and why those scenarios could happen, right? So option B, right, the orange. We continue up for, the next several weeks, and yet then we say we double top with, back in, June, right? And we get to almost $10, right? Psychological level for a lot of humans, right? Those round numbers, $10, $100, yeah. So 10, 20, right? So then we reject there. And then if we reject there, that would be a double top, which is also bearish. And we would, come back down this little mountain that we've been building up for the past several weeks. And then, kind of revisit this area. But in the, on the macro level, we would just be kind of, ping-ponging around in here in this channel, right? Consolidation channel, if you will. So maybe we do something like that. Okay, so another option is the more bearish one, where, say Bitcoin rejects here around 22K, which I'll put out a Bitcoin video in just a little bit, so look for that after this. And we'll talk about that. But say Bitcoin rejects, obviously most altcoins will also reject. That's just how it goes for now. And so if that happens, then the red bearish scenario would likely play out. A rejection kind of in this area here, right? These local tops here. And we reject there and then come back down to just kind of whatever we've been doing and just continue our lower consolidation versus, kind of breaking out of these areas and going up. And, that could still be, a very nice move to the upside from here even, right? So let me clear some of this out and then we will look at the area. So let's say we break out of 730, 750, right? That's kind of the tops of these. We still have, if we do that, the odds just go way up of us going at least up to this area. And you're looking about another 25-30% to really get to our next kind of area of resistance. So that could still be a nice trade. Remember, trading, you should only be, buying at support levels and selling at resistance levels. And then with tight stop losses on either way. Join our Telegram group. I'm happy to talk you through more of that stuff. So, so what else would we do if we come back down, sooner than later, and we do follow this bearish scenario? We'll either, consider, staying in this channel, but more likely if we reject again before getting this, bigger move to the upside, and this is not just Chainlink, this is, market wide. If we reject anytime soon without a more of a rally, I would say the odds would greatly increase of going back to, our local lows, or if not, making fresh local lows across the board. So we want to see this, continue to play out. I think we'll have a good indication of what we're going to do on Bitcoin and, obviously the rest of the market sometime in the next 24 to 48 hours. I see at least being able to make a concise, more decisive statement on which side of the fence we're going to be on. So watch for that. The next 24 hours could be key on which the next several weeks or months are going to be like. One of these scenarios, right? If we break past 750 for Chainlink, we very well likely could flirt with 10, right? And then if we reject there, if we break through there, right? Lots of different things could be happening on the horizon ahead. So let's go ahead and look at some indicators. How about our RSI? we're doing the right things, right? We're increasing the strength, relative strength is getting better. I'd obviously like us to take out, our high here, which is where we're at. We just looked at, right? That was our, our 960 high, right? That was where our RSI was at high. So I would love us to, not even be at 960 and make a new high on the RSI. That would likely mean that we're gaining much more strength, and that would increase the likelihood of us, moving towards maybe something like this. Okay, so watch for that. The stochastic RSI, we already have, this is the momentum of the move, right? We have our momentum. We're cranked out on the daily scale. We'll look at the weekly briefly in just a moment, but the daily looks pretty good. So we want to stay up here. We don't just want to, flip back around and, start crashing down, right? We have the pedal to the metal right now. Let's keep it there. So watch that. What else do we got? We have the ADX and the I, which is key to be watching. On the daily, we just got a bullish cross last Friday, right? So this is good. Look at the separation, the divergence of the lines. That's excellent. And what else is great? The ADX, right? This is the average directional index in the orange. You want that following for the bulls, right? The bulls just crossed, and now they're gaining strength. But it's still not that big of a signal because your ADX is still under 25. Really, to get the massive, good signal, you really want the ADX above 25. Otherwise, you're just kind of, playing around in the sandbox. If you want to get to professional sandbox building, sandcastle building, we have to get your ADX above 25, right? Super strong move out of the bears here, right? Obviously, that should be obvious. Probably the past several months too. Okay, so that's your ADX. Watch that. MACD on the weekly is looking pretty good. We'll look at that. This is the daily still, right? We're still just kind of ho-humming around. Nothing big, right? Nothing. We're just treading water here, really. You want a big move, right? And we don't have that yet on the daily, but better slightly bullish than slightly bearish, right? Your TDI. I haven't talked about this one a lot. We talked about this in my group. This is the only kind of cautionary flag so far, right? We're outside of the bands, which maybe we're in this move, right? Maybe we got to come back in and then go again. But, being outside of the bands does not usually last that long. So maybe we just need a breather. What I do like is the mouth opening. These are Bollinger Bands. So you can see that. At the same time, we have some strength up here. We're looking good. We're trying to separate this. So we're potentially looking good. Maybe we're just going to, take a breath and keep going. But that was kind of the only hesitation, at least for now, on as far as the indicators go. Most of them looking pretty good on the daily. Now, how about for the weekly? Let's check them real quick. The weekly, look at what's happening on the stochastic. We're trying to break back up, but have we done this before? Hello, yeah, we've done this before. So we do not want to fill this circle again and just kind of reverse back down, right? That would not be good. What we'd like to do is take that out again. So let's hope for a stochastic cross, above 50. You could see, let me remove all of these. There we go. You can kind of see this kind of line in the sand for Chainlink seems to be the stochastic above or below 50. It seems to hesitate or reverse at that level. So I would love us to see a weekly stochastic above 50, and then I would say maybe we get something very bigly moving. Okay, so let's go look at what else we got. The RSI, still very weak, almost the weakest we've ever been, right? Look at this. So we're let's keep that in mind, right? Prices could go to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're almost the weakest we've ever been, right? This is the beginner in the gym, right? He's not likely going to outlift the power lifter. The power lifter Chainlink was back in here, right? We're not there yet. And how do we get there? Well, first of all, how about we recover past our despair? We're kind of in this despair loop now, right? Look at this dip below, right? We got to get back above 40 before we can even think about turning macro bullish, right? So, pump the brakes on the excitement until we get some, more bigly things in our favor. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Your RSI on the weekly is a big indication of how strong you are. Not only that, the weekly, we got some more work to do, right? Look at the ADX and the I, what we just looked at. Who's in charge here? Ding dong, right? Well, instead of using that, how about I use the actual arrow? I don't have to draw an arrow anymore. There you go, right there, right? The bears are clear in charge, and guess what is above 25, right? Your ADX. We just talked about that too, right? So now this could reverse, right? The bears could be dying, right? You can see the bulls trying to fight here, but so far on the bigger picture, the weekly, the bears still have the commanding command. All right, so let's see anything else, right? So the MACD, look, we're showing signs of life here. Look at the bounce. We have a cross, right? Anytime you cross these, they'll turn green or red, right? That's the only reason this is green, because we had a cross, right? When the blue's on top, it's green, right? When the orange is on top, it's red. So we have this, but it could be short-lived. It could be long-lived. This is what we want, though. We won't want this little candy-ass mountain. We need this ginormous Dwayne Johnson mountain, okay? We need massive moves, massive moves. Look at the separation and just the rocket ship here of the MACD here, right? This is what we want. We don't want this. Look at the angle, right? Look at this angle, how this is. Let me paint this up here, right? Look at the angle of this versus the straight up, right? It's almost straight up. This is what we want. So we can still fix that. We just have some work to do. And so don't let this fake you out. MACD is, I don't really use it much. I would focus on the weekly, which on the weekly, yes, we have the potential to start a big move, but there's a lot of things going, right? You want to use multiple indicators to get your, paint your big picture. So this is one. I would never use just the MACD to trade alone, right? There's no pro traders just trading off the MACD. They would be in short business. Okay. Now let's go look at the TDI on the bigger picture. If I can get it to blow up, there we go. So what I like here is we just visited outside the lower Bollingers, crossed over, and anytime you cross this, it's looking more bullish than bearish. Now the red and green here are not. It's kind of reversed. You can change those colors if you want. This is just plain standard. I didn't change anything. So what we're looking for is to get up in this upper channel. We're close. We might need another week or two, and I would say if we do get this cross on the TDI, that'd be a great signal. But those are also short-lived. So you want to look at a lot of indicators. Some people use 2 indicators and that's it. Some people use 0 indicators and that's it. Some people use 100 indicators. I would suggest using about 3 to 5. Certainly if you've been trading less than 5 years, you probably need 3 to 5 indicators to help you, your mind be more assured of certain trades. Okay, so that's all. These are just a handful that I've come across that I tend to use occasionally. That's it. So the weekly, right? Let's look at the weekly price. These are the same arrows that we looked at to start with, right? So on the weekly, do we have any kind of big moves, right? This isn't really a line on the weekly. The lower one still there. The top one, not much resistance, right? So maybe we just need to simply break out of $8 area, right? You could see that as being a potential move. There's our closing candle from our low wick, right? So maybe if we get a breakout of that, I mean, really, our next big resistance level would be kind of that candle right there. So that's way up around, $13, right? That would be a nice move. Also kind of right in this area, lower areas, right? You could even make this box here. Let's look maybe something in that area. Maybe that's our big kind of breakout zone or a resistance zone. So I would say if we break 10, we're very, very likely to go to 13. And you might say that's not very much, but that's still, 30% plus move. So those are big moves to be making. When we're used to, these moves, this will be well welcomed for bulls. But, a lot of people, when overly bearish, a little bit too overly bearish. So maybe this is just a relief rally. Maybe this is the bottom. Nobody knows, right? You just use the charts and that's about it. I wouldn't listen to a whole lot of people, even me, right? I try to be as unbiased as possible and just show you the charts, but do your own research, look at the charts. They'll tell you the news. listening to, it just depends on what your mindset is and what your goals are. If your goal is just to trade and make money, you don't need the news, right? The charts are all you need. And you really don't even need the indicators. Support and resistance, buying at support, selling at resistance. I mean, there's many pro traders that make their great living just doing that, using zero indicators, buying at support, selling at resistance, stop losses, all that good stuff. And you can go, that's all you can do that all day, every day, and make a fantastic living, I promise. So that's Chainlink wrapped up in a nutshell, with some tangents here and there. That's the weekly, but the daily is looking pretty great so far for across the board. But like I said, we're at decision point in the next 24 to 48 hours, I believe. Let's just go take a peek at Bitcoin, right? See, this, what we want Bitcoin to do is what Ethereum has done, right? Look at what Ethereum did, right? See that move, that breakout? I posted this on Twitter on Friday, and we were like right here, and I said, are we going to break out of 1250 finally? And I saw a comment like, what would it mean if we did? Well, a big move, because we have no more resistance between here and like 1700, and so far looks like it's playing out. So we'll see how far this move ends up going. Obviously, if Bitcoin, hits a wall here and rejects, we have the rest of the market will go right back down. But we're approaching key levels, right? We're approaching the breakout zone. So if you see Bitcoin, move above all this area, I would really, if you want to be real safe, right, that you got to break out of here. I'll be looking at like 23K. You see Bitcoin around 23K, it takes out all previous local tops, local wicks. It'd be the highest close, right? Even if we close at above 22K, that'd be a big foot in the door for the bulls. If we close above 23K, the bulls have broken down the door, okay? And then the likelihood of us making this run that we looked at for Chainlink would also likely be the run that we see, Bitcoin do, at least up into that area, right? 27K, 28K. And then maybe we come back down, right? Maybe this just ends up being our actual first relief rally. 60% relief rally for Bitcoin would likely lead 2 to 3x rallies of several other coins, and we're seeing that even in like Matic. Matic's already up over 200% since the bottom, right? So I mean, Matic has just gone a little berserk here, or 217% from top to bottom over how many days was that? It's not even that long, right? Like a month, 30 days, 200% in 30 days in a bear market. Pretty astounding. So I would expect Matic to do some pretty special things in the days and weeks ahead, especially when the bull market kicks off again. And if you look at this inverted chart on Matic, right? Look at the trend line from the Christmas lows, right? Look at that, or I should say highs, right? Inverted chart. Look at that. Amazing to see that we kind of stopped right there on that line. So we'll see how this ends up playing out. But that is Chainlink, Bitcoin, and Matic, and one overview video that you may not have wanted, but that's what you got. All right. Quote of the day, July 18th. Nothing great in the world has ever been accomplished without passion. Of course, you have to have passion or you won't do it when the times get tough. Just look at the video. All right. Car of the day, Ferrari F50, the timeless. Still looks fantastic. What are we at? We're approaching 30 years, almost 30 years old. Probably been 30 years since they started designing it. Like 1995, this came out. I mean, it still looks fantastic, if you ask me. One of the best designs out of any manufacturer ever for supercars. Very timeless. Still looks excellent outside. I've actually seen one of these in real life. They are even more starstruck. Like your hips would come up to like, so I'm like 6'1". My hips came up to like the top of the window here. They're so short. I mean, look at the regular cars back here, right? You can see like the little Lexus SUV. Look how tiny this is. I did not realize they were so tiny. You could like jump over this with a big step. So they're like 3 feet off the ground from the roof. Amazing. All right, I'll leave you with that. I'll see you on the next video. Hope you liked it. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't already, damn it.